Dashboard lights are flashing everywhere, the engine stalls by itself, and when you try to start again, nothing happens. Many people rush to a repair shop and walk out with a few $100 bill just for a so-called diagnostic reset. But the truth is, you can reset your car's entire electronic system at home. No special tools, no cost, just by following the correct steps. In this video, you'll learn each step in detail: discharging residual power, cleaning sensor connectors, calibrating the throttle body, and resetting the anti-theft system. All of these can bring your car back to life within minutes without paying a single cent to a mechanic. Take 3 seconds to hit the subscribe button to stay updated with the latest videos. One, disconnect the battery. When your car suddenly shows multiple electronic faults, random dashboard lights, unstable idle, or the AC stops cooling, most people rush to the shop. But there's a simple fix you can do yourself. Disconnect the battery to reset the entire system. It may sound basic, but this is one of the most effective ways to clear leftover voltage that can cause the ECU and sensors to misbehave. Always remember, remove the negative terminal by first, then the positive. Plus, there's a good reason for that. If your tool accidentally touches the car body while removing the negative terminal, nothing happens. But if you remove them in the wrong order, you could blow a fuse, or worse, damage the ECU. After disconnecting, don't reconnect right away. Let the car sit for about 15 minutes. That's enough time for all the capacitors in the system to fully discharge, like restarting a phone, but much deeper. In many cases, minor issues such as a check engine light, incorrect sensor readings, or light engine vibration can be cleared simply by disconnecting the battery correctly and waiting long enough. It's a trick many mechanics don't mention because it's too easy, and they'd lose the excuse to charge you for a scanner reset. A quick tip: when reconnecting, tighten the terminals securely and make sure they're not loose. If your car has extra wiring for GPS, dash cams, or amplifiers, plug them back carefully and avoid reversing polarity. It may seem like a small detail, but this step is the foundation of the whole electronic reset process. Do it wrong, and you might trigger new faults. Do it right, and your car will be clean and ready for the next step within minutes. 2. Press the brake pedal after disconnecting the battery. After removing the battery, most people think just waiting is enough. But in reality, your car's electrical system still holds residual charge inside its circuits and capacitors. That tiny amount of energy can preserve old fault data and prevent a full reset. That's why pressing the brake pedal after disconnecting the battery is an important step. It helps drain every last bit of stored power, ensuring the electronics are truly refreshed. It might sound odd, but even with the battery removed, certain circuits in the ECU, radio, or ABS still hold a weak current. Sit in the driver's seat and press the brake pedal firmly for about 10-15 seconds, keeping steady pressure. During that time, the brake lights and minor circuits consume the remaining energy in the capacitors, essentially squeezing out the last bit of electricity your car is holding on to. If you skip this step, the system may retain old error data, and when you reconnect the battery, the warning lights could come right back on. Many people disconnect and reconnect the battery without pressing the brake, only to find sensor or ECU errors still there. For European or higher-end Japanese cars, this is especially important because their systems can retain power much longer. Make sure the key is removed and no accessories are turned on while you press the brake. Then, wait another 5-10 minutes for the car to go completely dead. Only once you're sure all power is drained will reconnecting the battery truly act like a fresh restart. 3. Reset the ECU by holding the start button. After disconnecting the battery and draining all residual power, the next step is to reset the ECU by holding the start button, a small action that directly affects your car's central control system. The ECU, engine control unit, is like the car's brain. It manages everything from fuel injection and ignition timing to transmission and sensor coordination. When it stores too many error codes or incorrect data, your car may respond sluggishly, waste fuel, or flash random warning lights. Resetting the ECU allows it to relearn everything from scratch, like clearing the cache on a computer. Here's how to do it. With the battery still disconnected, press and hold the start button for about 10 to 15 seconds, even though the car has no power. This forces any remaining charge in the ECU's capacitors to discharge completely, wiping old error data. Don't reconnect the battery yet. Wait a few extra minutes to let the system fully cool down. When you reconnect the battery, press the start button to turn on the engine. Let it idle for about 5 minutes. Don't touch the gas pedal, and don't turn on the AC or lights. During this time, the ECU automatically relearns key parameters like air-fuel ratio, idle speed, throttle response, and transmission behavior. The engine may sound a bit louder at first. That's normal, as the system is recalibrating itself. Important note: if you skip holding the start button while the battery is disconnected, some residual charge may remain in the ECU, making the reset incomplete. 4. Cleaning sensor connectors. One of the most common causes of error lights, sluggish performance, or poor fuel economy, and something most drivers overlook, is dirty or oxidized sensor connectors. A modern car has dozens of sensors: oxygen, temperature, pressure, throttle position, and more. If even one connector sends the wrong signal, the ECU receives incorrect data and misjudges the engine's condition. That leads to the check engine light turning on, rough idling, or jerky shifting. The frustrating part is that many shops will tell you to replace the sensor, costing hundreds of dollars, when the problem is simply poor contact. To check, turn off the engine, disconnect the battery, and trace the major connectors around the engine bay, especially the oxygen sensor, MAP sensors, camshaft sensor, and ECU plugs. Open each connector and inspect for moisture, dirt, or greenish corrosion. Then, spray a contact cleaner or isopropyl alcohol lightly on both sides, and use a small brush, an old toothbrush works fine, to gently scrub the metal pins. Avoid using water or household cleaners as they may leave moisture behind. Let everything dry completely before reconnecting. If any connector feels loose, use a small zip tie to keep it stable and prevent vibration. Many people have replaced an ECU unnecessarily just because of a slightly corroded connector. With just a few minutes of proper cleaning, the car's electronic system can return to stable operation. 5. Throttle body calibration. If your car hesitates when you press the gas, the RPMs fluctuate, or the transmission shifts roughly, the issue might be an uncalibrated electronic throttle body. Most drivers assume they have a bad sensor or a dirty throttle, but often the fix is as simple as recalibrating the throttle body. Modern throttles are electronically controlled. There's no physical cable like older cars. When you press the pedal, the sensor sends a signal to the ECU, which commands a motor to open the throttle plate. Over time, or after disconnecting the battery, the system may lose its stored position reference, causing delayed or incorrect throttle response. The fix is easy, though few mechanics ever mention it. Turn the key to the on position without starting the engine. Leave it there for 3 minutes, then turn it off and wait 10 seconds. Repeat this cycle 3 times in a row. During this process, the ECU is automatically relearning the throttle's opening and closing range. When finished, start the engine and let it idle for a few minutes without pressing the gas. This allows the system to stabilize and store the new parameters. Subscribe to the channel to get notified of new videos. 6. Resetting the immobilizer, anti-theft system. A common situation after replacing the key battery or car battery is when the car suddenly won't recognize the key. The security light flashes, and the engine won't start no matter how long you crank. Most people assume the ECU is damaged or needs reprogramming, but often resetting the immobilizer system is all it takes. Here's how to do it. Make sure all doors are closed and the key is in good condition with a working chip. Insert the key into the ignition and turn it to the on position. The dashboard lights will come on, but don't turn it to start. Leave it like this for 10 minutes so the security module can reread the key's identification code. After 10 minutes, turn the key back to off and wait 5 minutes. Repeat this cycle 3 times, keeping the same timing. On the 4th attempt, turn the key to start, and the engine should start normally. The security light will go off immediately. If the engine still won't start, try your spare key. Sometimes the main key's RFID chip fails without you realizing it. And avoid cranking repeatedly during the reset process, as that can cause the system to lock itself further. 7. Resetting the AC system. Many drivers have experienced this. The car's air conditioning suddenly blows ice-cold air 1 minute, then hot air the next, even though you didn't change any settings. Mechanics often blame a bad temperature sensor or low refrigerant, but in many cases, the problem is simply a miscalibrated AC control system. Modern vehicles use automatic circuits to manage airflow, blend doors, and temperature settings. When voltage fluctuates, such as after disconnecting the battery or resetting the ECU, the control unit can lose its reference points, essentially forgetting the positions of the vents and temperature actuators. The fix is simple and doesn't require a trip to the shop. First, make sure the car is completely off. Then, press and hold both the max hot and max cold temperature buttons at the same time. While still holding them, turn the ignition to on or press the start button without starting the engine. At this point, the AC system will automatically run a self-check, recalibrating all the air doors, sensors, and motors. You might hear faint motor noises or vents opening and closing. That's completely normal. The whole process takes about a minute. Once it's done, release the buttons, start the engine, and turn on the AC as usual. If your airflow was weak, temperature inconsistent, or air only came out of one side before, chances are everything will now be back to normal. Many car owners think they need to replace the evaporator or sensors, when in reality, a simple AC reset is all it takes. 8. Clearing dashboard. Warning lights without a scanner. Every driver has faced this at least once. The car runs fine, but the check engine or warning light stays on, even after the issue has been fixed. Mechanics often say you need a scanner reset, charging dozens of dollars just to press a button. In reality, most modern cars allow you to clear warning lights at home without any tools, as long as the original problem has already been resolved. Here's how it works. The ECU stores error codes in its memory. Even after the issue is fixed, the light remains because the computer hasn't been told that everything is okay again. To erase its memory, you just need to trigger a short sequence that forces the ECU to reset temporary data. The most common method is simple. Turn the key to the on position without starting the engine. Then press the gas pedal 5 times quickly within 10 seconds. On the 5th press, hold the pedal down for about 15 seconds. If you hear a soft beep or notice the light blink once and turn off, that means the reset was successful. Some cars won't make a sound, but the check engine light will fade or disappear after a few seconds. If it stays on, turn the key off, wait 10 seconds, and repeat once more. Important. Only perform this when you're sure the actual problem is fixed. For example, a bad sensor, spark plug, or loose connector has been repaired. Clearing the light without fixing the cause will only make the ECU forget temporarily, and the light will return after a few drive cycles. 9. Recalibrating electric power steering, EPS. If your steering wheel suddenly feels unusually heavy or turns too easily with no feedback, it's often a sign that the electric power steering, EPS system is out of calibration. EPS works through sensors that measure steering torque and wheel angle. When these sensors send incorrect data, the car misinterprets your steering input, making the wheel feel stiff or numb. This issue often appears after disconnecting the battery, replacing tie rods, or doing wheel alignment, or when voltage fluctuates. Many repair shops will tell you to replace the whole EPS unit, but in most cases, a simple recalibration fixes everything. Here's how to do it. Start the engine and let it idle. Turn the steering wheel all the way to the left, hold it there for 5 seconds, then turn it fully to the right and hold again for 5 seconds. Repeat this sequence 3 times. During this process, the ECU relearns the left and right limits and sets a new center point. Make sure the car is on a level surface, with no obstructions in front of the tires. Once done, let the engine run for a few more minutes, then test the steering. It should feel noticeably smoother, lighter, and more responsive. The EPS warning light, if it was on, may also turn off after a few cycles. If it doesn't, shut the engine off, wait 10 seconds, and repeat the procedure. 10. Test drive for system relearning. After resetting and calibrating all the systems, ECU, throttle body, AC, and EPS, the final step is a test drive, allowing the car to relearn its normal behavior. This is crucial, yet many people skip it and later wonder why the car idles high, shifts roughly, or the throttle feels unresponsive after a reset. The reason is simple. The ECU is now blank. It needs to gather fresh data to adapt to your car's specific engine condition and driving habits. The correct way to do this is to start the engine and let it idle for 3 or 5 minutes so the oxygen sensors, air sensors, and fuel system can stabilize. Then, drive gently for the first 20 to 30 miles, keeping a steady speed and avoiding sudden acceleration or hard braking. During this period, the ECU continuously collects data on fuel mixture, RPM, throttle position, engine load, and your driving style. This helps the transmission and sensors resynchronize smoothly. A helpful tip: mix both city and highway driving during this phase. It gives the transmission and steering systems a wide enough range of motion to self-adjust. If you notice slightly higher RPM or a deeper engine sound, don't worry. That's just the ECU fine-tuning the air-fuel ratio and ignition timing. Within a few dozen miles, everything will settle back to normal. When everything's done, you'll immediately feel the difference. The engine runs smoother, gear shifts are lighter, throttle response is sharper, and the AC finally holds the right temperature. The reset itself only clears the errors, but the test drive is what truly brings the car back to life, as if it's been given a brand new brain, relearning how to perform at its best, just for you. All of these reset steps don't just clear electronic errors, they also help your car run smoother, more efficiently, and more consistently. Instead of spending hundreds of dollars on diagnostic resets, you can do it yourself with a few simple steps at home. The key is to follow the process carefully, stay patient, and understand your car. When you know how to maintain it yourself, you'll not only save money, but also keep your vehicle in its best condition every single day. If this video helped you, hit subscribe and help us reach 20,000 subscribers.